What if there was a way to kill all your nagging bad habits instantly? And let's say it was exclusive for us Muslims. I'm talking about junk food, skipping training days, missing road work. Well, something like that actually does exist. It's called the ahlif. The ahlif will literally take you from someone who consistently misses training, misses bedtime, skips road work, all that stuff, to someone who completely checks all of the boxes and makes sure that they're doing what needs to be done. Inshallah, I'm going to show you how to use it in the most effective way. An ahlif is essentially a promise you make to God. It's when you say things like, Wallah, I will do X, or Wallah, I won't do this. So how do you actually use it? The first thing I want you to do is put that small but catch all ahlif, something that's manageable for you to do, but you've just been missing for some reason or another, and make it catch all. What I mean by that is, for example, let's say sleeping at 10 o'clock will allow you to wake up for Fajr and allow you to wake up for training. Try to do something like that versus something super specific. That way you're killing like 5 birds with one stone. So like I said, sleeping at 10 o'clock will allow you to wake up for Fajr and make it in time for training with having more time throughout the day to do whatever else you need to do. But you need to be realistic with this. Don't use this on severe addictions. Stuff like that actually needs a rehab. You got to keep in mind this is a promise with Allah that you have to be careful with. You can't just throw it out willy-nilly. You can't ahlif your way to a 250-pound bench press or boxing a world champion. To really make this hit home, I want to give you an example. Let's say me or anybody on the street asked you to track your calories today. Would you actually do it? You know it's good for you. You know it'll help you reach your goals, but would you do it? Maybe, maybe not. But if there was a time that you would spend in hellfire if you didn't do it, if you literally tasted hellfire for not tracking your calories, would you do it? Of course. This is what I mean by finding a manager to something that you know you can do, but you've been skipping out on for laziness or lack of time management. Imagine how much easier it would be if you used something like this throughout your life. If you want more of these tactics that help you achieve self mastery through Islam and boxing, I developed the Muslim Boxing Transformational Mindset course in the Muslim Boxers League right now. It's linked below. JZAK, sir. So now we're actually going to make the ahlif. So, for example, a good catch-all ahlif for me would be me sleeping on time. A lot of my day is spent with my daughter and my wife, and I don't get a lot of time to myself. So sometimes I stay up a little bit longer than I should, but that causes me to miss training, causes me to miss Fajr, a'udhu billah, stuff like that. So a good catch-all ahlif for me that I did would be to sleep at 10 o'clock on the dot. No ifs, ands, or buts. Obviously, unless it's past Isha, don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? After that, you want to add reminders to not forget. You do reminders on my phone so I don't forget. Literally make it your phone's wallpaper. So every time that you look at your phone, you never forget. You always see a reminder that it's there. So you don't have excuses because it's easy to forget an ahlif even if you said it out loud. I remember when I used this on my music habit. I had a bad music habit that I couldn't shake. And I started small. I made sure that for music, I couldn't listen to it in the car. That was my first step. I added that I wouldn't listen to it in the car. So whenever I got the urge to listen to music, I at least promised myself that I wouldn't listen to it in the car. And even when I got the urge, that threat of Allah watching and that promise that I made to Him was good enough to keep me honest and good enough to keep me from doing something stupid and doing something haram. So I was never super addicted to music, but again, just having that there is enough of a deterrent, especially since I made the promise to myself. And alhamdulillah, I haven't listened to music in the car ever since I said that to myself. I made it something that was so stupidly easy, but would have such a massive ROI if I stuck to it. You know what I mean? I made sure that that would never be an issue in my life. Now, for example, if I was addicted to freaking crack or something like that, I wouldn't use this because at that point it's biological. You need intensive health to kill something like that, of course, as well with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but you need professionals to help you with something like that, any addictions or anything like that. I'm not saying you can't cure an addiction on your own, but don't be an idiot with stuff like this, where the likelihood of failing is way higher. Quitting cold turkey on some of these addictions is trying to go into the gym and load up 500 pounds on the bench press. when you've never done that before. You know what I mean? Don't do things that you haven't done. Don't ahlif on things that you have not done before or have not shown yourself to be able to do consistently. Start small, gradually work your way up. But ahlif every way, every step of the way. You could imagine what happens if you start small and ahlif every step of the way. So, for example, if you ahlif that you won't listen to music in the car and you sustain that for uh, let's start small. You sustain that for 4 weeks. What's stopping you from ahlifing that you won't listen to it while you're at work, right? You sustain that for 4 weeks. What if you don't listen to it while you're at the gym? Sustain that for 4 weeks. Imagine the kind of man you're gonna be when you rack up all these small wins and it just becomes who you are. You know what I mean? Alhamdulillah, the best thing about this is that it's literally God level accountability. Imagine you make a promise to God for something that's easy, for something that's small, right? Or at least to you in your head in the beginning, it's small, right? Or imagine stacking these habits every month. You'd have a new ahdah that you strive towards every single month. And it's just enough to get you into a flow state, but not so hard that you slip back or you end up lying to Allah. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be these massive declarations that set you up for failure because you've never done something like that before. Take these small wins, rack up these small wins, do use the concept of progressive overload and watch what man you become. Imagine what kind of man would you become if you do something like that? SubhanAllah. Imagine you progressively overloaded your entire life, not just in the gym. Imagine you progressively overloaded your deen. Like SubhanAllah, to even think about something like that. But the concept of progressive overload combined with the ahdat is so it's a match made in heaven. It's beautiful. Can you believe what kind of man you become? It's SubhanAllah, I smile just thinking about it. Okay. I want to talk about what happens if you fail. Okay? That sometimes, especially starting out, and if you made the same mistakes that I did, you fail. You know? You make these massive declarations and you end up not being able to live up to your expectations of yourself when the expectations were wrong to begin with. If this happens, you probably started off too fast. You probably started with something that's way too hard for you at your current level. You might be at level 1 in your fitness or your deen, and you set an ahir that your future self may have been able to do, but you're not there yet. So if this happens, make sincere tawbah. Ask for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't just forget about it, get mad at yourself, and throw out the entire concept and get upset at yourself. No. Feel that shame. Feel that feeling that you broke your promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 100% feel it. Don't shy away from it. But recognize that that goal you set wasn't in your reach. That's why it's so important to be realistic here with yourself. And inshallah, you watch this and don't make this massive declaration. Don't set yourself a goal that you know for a fact that you can't achieve. But regardless, inshallah, it doesn't happen. But if it ever happens to you, I would say wait at least 2 months before using this tactic again for it to redevelop its teeth and for it to feel like, I really messed up here. I can't play with this. I'm not allowed to use this again until at least 2 months from now. So that it redevelops its teeth and allows you to still have that God level accountability. Inshallah, this tactic helps you. I'll leave you with one more thing. Please, if you take anything away from this, start small, lower your ego. And I promise you, if you start small, I could almost guarantee that that this tech will work and will help us. Salam.